those long stem botanicals that you designed and that have been so incredibly popular, we talked and we talked and we wondered, because when we, it's the end of the, I don't know how many days, lots of videos under our belt. When we first worked with these, I'm going to show you the back, we did these on the number 10 panel cards and they worked beautifully. And then we thought, wait a minute, there's got to be another way to use these. And we decided that a shaped panel card would be a good option for that. And so we chose these two, which are Poppin' Poppy and Seedy.
Poppin' Poppy and Seedy. And by the way, it's a laser cut panel card.
It is laser cut. It's a laser cut shaped panel card.
Right.
It's shaped to fit those shapes, to fit those two fabulous long stem botanicals. And then we got to playing and realized that we could bring those shapes in, and we could bring in others of the long stem botanicals. So the cool part is, then you can do them on plain old stuff like that, or you can do what I did here, which is Elizabeth printed me a little bit of a background using her Focus on the Positive stencil. And then we thought, well, all right, well, you can, these are sized, these will fit right in a number 10 envelope, or you can layer them. And I like the drama that comes with black, so that's what I use. That's wet cement and black, and this is craft and black. And then Elizabeth had a whole different idea, and I'm gonna shut up and let you tell us about it.
Well, before we move on, we have to remind you or let you know that by the time this video publishes,
Oh, you're right.
Joggles will have craft and black number 10 envelopes to put these in to coordinate.
I'm glad you remembered, because I didn't.
I don't remember why I remembered.
We'll just go with it at this point and be grateful.
Right. So Barb mounted hers to the number 10 panel card, and then I did the A7.
It's a product known by many names. It is a 5x7 index card, or it is an A7 panel card. They fit right in an A7 envelope.
How about Astro Brights?
Yeah, you can put them in a bright envelope. We have all those number 7 envelopes. We actually, you know what? I take that back. We have black and white and ivory and the bright colors. So you can put them in black. We're good to go. And then you can use a Posca pen to write your address and your return address, and everybody's a winner.
Yeah, we tested that once to make sure you could write your address in white on a black envelope, see if it worked. I sent you an empty envelope.
You're right, you did. Because she's crazy like
but it
that.
went.
Yeah, it went.
We wanted to make sure. I mean, who knew if it was going to be problematic for the post office? But so I mounted mine to 5x7, meaning I chopped off the bottom portion of the long card, but I'm still using that laser cut shape. And then I've mounted it on the 5x7 with the with fun stencil pattern in the background. So I've done that in different colors and different combos. And what I'm going to show you today is this sparkly Starry Night background color. So I think we've got a lot of work cut out for us.
All right, you want to get started?
Yes.
All right.
All right.
We introduced the long stem botanicals and the number 10 panel cards at about the same time. I want to say it was a month and a half or 2 months ago. And I got to playing, and Elizabeth and I were talking about the idea of some cards that might reflect the shape of some of the stamps. And so what we have are these panel cards. They're called shaped panel cards, and we have them in watercolor, craft, wet cement, and black. And I've used the gray, the wet cement, and the craft here. But these are the same cards. They've just been cut to fit. So when you lay this card on the number 10 panel card, it fits. And initially my thought was to use them separately. So I have a couple of other ones here. And then Elizabeth and I were talking this morning, and we talked about the possibility of layering, and this makes a super sturdy card. And either way, they'll fit right in a number 10 envelope, so it's really easy. Now you'll notice that there's shine on here because I chose to stamp with Tim's Distress Mica stains. The shape of these two cards, actually the shape of these cards, reflects these two designs. So this is Poppin' Poppy, and this is Seedy. I'm going to bring in two others. This is one of my favorites of this whole group of 12. This is named Leafy, and this one is Seed Pod Circle. So I'm just going to bring in some other shapes. The first thing I'm going to do is stamp the three that are the shaped part of the card. So let's go ahead and do that. I've got some fall colors, and I have this background that Elizabeth created for me. So this is the craft, and she's used some colors, and this is her Patterns for Layering stencil that's named Focus on the Positive. It's just a little bit of design on there, and I'm going to bring in 3 colors of mica stains. So I have Fortune Teller, Mulled Cider, and this is Holly Branch. So what I'm going to do is kind of slide this over here, and I think I'm going to use Fortune Teller for the Poppin' Poppy on these 2 pieces right here. I want to get all the mica up and moving, and then I'm going to go ahead and spritz that. Every time I use these, I take a moment and I spray the orifice on the spray head like that, because there's a far less chance of this eventually clogging if I do that. So I'm going to grab Poppin' Poppy, and I'm just going to start tapping the spray stain on there until I'm pretty satisfied with the way that looks. And sometimes tapping, if you find that you're not getting the coverage you want, you can kind of mush it around like that, but I prefer tapping. Now, I will tell you, nothing is perfect. So if your Poppin' Poppies don't line up perfectly, it's not that big a deal. They're close enough. And you'll see that when you look at mine and you look at Elizabeth's, that they too are not perfect. Oh, how pretty is that? So this color works really well with the little bit of peach that's here in the background. Go ahead and lift that. Now, that didn't stamp super well on that side, so I'm gonna take a chance and I'm gonna try to restamp that. Good enough, I'm perfectly happy with that. Now I'm gonna push that to one side. I'm not worried about the mica stain drying on the stamp, because if it does, I can wash it right off, because these are distressed mica stains and they are reactivated with water. All right, so now I'm going to use, this is Mulled Cider. This is one of the 2023 mica stain releases. There's that mixing ball starting to do its job. Almost done. You do have to be patient just a little bit so that this can happen. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to do CD first. I want to get that leaf on there first. All right. Go ahead and spritz and rinse and wipe, because again, I want to take care of these. Eventually, some of them may clog, but that's what refill or what replacement sprayers are for. Sometimes that happens because nobody's perfect. Okay, so I've got some good coverage there. And I'm just going to turn this. By the way, before I forget, when I designed this panel card, it was meant for Leafy to be on the right. You can do it the other way, but I find I get better results when I keep Leafy on the right like that. I'm going to put some of the Mulled Cider down here, because I'm going to come back to that with Leafy. But I'm going to use this Mulled Cider with the Poppy Circle. So let's go ahead and put some of that color. Put some of that color out, and I'm going to spritz to rinse and wipe. All right, so now I'm going to grab Poppy Circle. Same kind of deal here. All right, I got some good coverage on there. So I think I'm going to lean this like this. I want these at different heights because that makes a more interesting composition. Again, these colors all work together, and they all say fall, which is exactly what I'm looking for. Now I'm going to take Leafy, and I'm going to go ahead and ink it up. I missed in the middle there. Okay, and I think I want this to kind of come up here like that. Once this is dry, and let me just wipe this up so I'm not getting my elbows into the mica stains. Once this is dry, I can make a decision about which color of the number 10 panel card to layer this on. So the watercolor and the craft itself are probably out, although, you know, because this is, so theoretically I could do that. There's not a ton of contrast, but because this is printed, but I think ultimately I'm gonna head right for the black because I like the drama. Black in my world is drama. Look how pretty that is. And it's just a question of, it really sets everything off, and I think it makes it look really, really good.
So I had fun creating this starry night kind of background for my poppies and on the die cut cards. So in my projects that I did, I used the Poppin' Poppies, CD, Spiral, and what was the other one, Barb?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask that. I switched windows. That one is named Poppy Pod.
Poppy Pod. So Poppy Pod, Poppin' Poppies, CD, and Spiral. Those are the stamps from the long stem botanicals that I used to create my samples. So on this one, I glued down the laser cut panel to the 5x7 A7 card panel, and I gel printed this one, and they're both in the wet cement stock. So I gel printed this one, and I kind of brayered off a little bit of blue color to the background of that one because I wanted to see the gray stock come through. So I went with a light touch on that blue so the gray stock would come through. And then we trimmed the bottom. So once we glued it on there, we trimmed the bottom, and now we have a really nice 5x7 note card. And then with this one, you can see I did the opposite background. So here I used my Dorothy Dottie stencils to use for the ghost print, and here's the positive print. And on this one, I went with the darker blue. And I also used the foam stamp called Leafy. And again, glued it to the 5x7 card and trimmed off the bottom. So just a way that you can layer the card, the laser cut card. And this one, I featured the same Starry Night background, only I did it on the 5x7 card, and then I used the foam stamps on wet cement again that I brayered some pink onto. So sort of some fun combinations with that. So what I wanted to show you how to do is how to create the Starry Night background. So what I'm doing first is I am taking the laser cut black, what are these called?
Shaped panel cards.
The laser cut black shaped panel card, and I am using a metallic paint to create this Starry Night. So this is Art Alchemy Metallique, and the color is royal blue. So I'm going to put that out with the palette knife onto my gel plate, and you can see it's got this kind of beautiful metallic tone to it. And the black cardstock with this nice rich blue over it really does give you a feeling of a dark sky. So I'm going to roll this out, with the squeaky brayer. And then I'm also going to roll it right onto the panel card. So I've got a little bit of residual blue on my brayer, looks like. And then I'm going to put it in it. So the idea is, if you can, leave a little bit of black showing through. So I do like that little bit of black showing through for the dark sky. And then that's how you get the metallic blue on there. And then I'm going to switch gears on you and bring this one out that I've already stamped, because Barb showed you how to stamp. And now I'm going to show you how to make the starry sky. Okay. So I've got two Posca pens. I've got, this is the M33, and it's metallic blue. And this is the PC5M, and it's white. So what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to make some metallic blue stars. And those will be the ones that are sort of in the background. So if you depress the tip all the way, you'll get a big dot. And if you go lightly, you'll get a smaller dot. So you can vary the size of your stars. And this is to be the subtle stars that are sort of further in the background. Then I'm going to come in with the white. And here's how I'm going to make it have that shimmer or glow effect. You're going to put the white down with a full push down so you get a decent amount. And then I rub it with my finger and add a dot in the middle. So you just rub it and then add the dot back in the middle. So the rub creates the glow, and then the dot back in the middle creates the center of the star. And then I'm going to add some that don't have a glow. Same thing, some with a light touch, some with a heavier press of the tip, and some with a real light touch. And you can get some stars that look like they're very far away.
I want you to make a constellation.
Oh, yes. Is there a poppy constellation?
I don't think so, but there should be.
I betcha. There's constellations for everything. They even have a goat constellation.
for me since I'm a Capricorn.
There you go. So here we have, let's do one more of them here.
So pretty.
So pretty, right? That beautiful starry night background. So that just gives you a whole different way to create a background for these fabulous long stem botanical foam stamps and the laser cut
Shaped panel cards.
Shaped panel cards. You know, I always tell Barb I don't need to write anything down. I'm just going to wing these videos. But when it comes to accurate product names, she's off camera giving me the sign language and the cue cards.
I'm giving her the look.
Giving me the look. So hopefully that inspires you. I love these cards. I think they're tons of fun. So whether you layer them and trim them and glue them to 5x7 or keep them long, you can put them in a number 10 envelope at this size and
An A7.
A7 envelope at that size.
Goodbye, Gracie.
Goodbye, Gracie.
Oh, it's been a long couple of days.